So there are several ways that you can create a custom resolution. The first being in the welcome screen that appears when you launch Storyboard Pro. So you would do it by clicking on this plus sign here. However, I'm going to refer you to the welcome screen video if you'd like to see how that's done. The second way is when you create a new scene after already having launched Storyboard Pro. So by going to the Create Scene button here, once again we see the plus sign. But if you'd like to see how that's done, I would refer you to the video Creating a New Project. The third way to do it is to go to the storyboarding menu up here, and by selecting Properties, and then going to the Project Resolution tab. So these are actually the exact same settings that you would see in the welcome screen as well as in the Create New Project window. So up here we have a list of different resolutions that you can give to your scene. And if you click on one of them, you can also see the properties of that project resolution. For example, the width and the height in pixels, as well as the aspect ratio. You can also see the default field of view, which in this case is horizontal fit, as well as the default frame rate, which is 24 frames per second. However, the moment you decide you'd like to change any of these things, like let's change the height perhaps in pixels, you'll notice that HDTV or whatever your selection was from the project resolution list is no longer highlighted, but this save button actually now has become active and the word custom appears in brackets. That's because any change you now make will not be saved to the preset that you had selected, but will actually be available for the creation of a new preset. So let's just create one quickly here. I'll make this 800 wide by 600 high. Let's make it a vertical fit. And from our frame rate preset list, we can choose a preset such as 12 frames per second, or from the frames per second field, we can manually enter in a number that does not exist in the preset list, such as 9. As you see here, we have 8 and 10, but no 9. Or you could use these up and down arrows to change the frame rate as well. So once we've entered in all our custom settings, we can click on the Save button here, and a window appears for us to enter in a name of our new custom setting. So let's call it Custom, and then click OK. And then if we scroll up to the top, we can see that our new custom name appears at the top of the list. And then if we click OK, you may have noticed that right away the frame in the stage view, so the stage view here, automatically changed shape. And that's because it took on the new resolution of 800 by 600 pixels. So if you then decide that you'd like to delete that custom resolution from your list, there are several ways that you can do that. You could go back to the welcome screen, and you can do this by going to the Help menu and selecting Show Welcome Screen. And if you select Custom from the top here, you can then delete your custom setting. Or you can go to the Create New Project button to bring up the New Project window. And once again, you can select your custom camera size from the list and then click on the Delete button. And now it's been deleted from the list. However, you may notice that the camera frame in your stage view still retains the dimensions of 800 by 600. So if we go back to the Storyboard menu at the top, back to Properties, and then back to the Project Resolution panel, you'll see that your custom settings are still there. So in order to get rid of these custom settings now that you've deleted the custom resolution is just by clicking on another resolution preset. And in fact, I'll go back to HDTV here at the top. So the purpose obviously of saving those presets is now then if we change our mind again and we do want to go back to that 800 by 600, we can't because it doesn't exist in the list anymore.